So here we have my new structures. This guy's a bigger one, so I did some crossers. This is just for one planter box. It's an insane planter box because this Roma is massive. It's a massive bush. So I put 4 big pegs here. I'm also gonna do some side ones because it is gonna grow sideways no matter what I do. Just want to show you how so I did some lashing and thrashing for these, which are just like bamboo shoots onto the big 6-foot stakes. And yeah, so I've got one set up here already, and it's, just encouraging it forward, piece by piece right now. Really correct the course, because you can see like I've got this kind of pulling out sideways and that over there. This guy, I will put you down for a second here. I don't know if this will work at all. Here, let's try this. Use my knife as the backer, generally. So what I'm doing for a knot is getting something that's twice the length that I need it to be. So it'll go down and back up. And all I'm doing for a knot is on the one side, I fold it on itself and then just kind of tie. It's a very simple knot, like just a single knot, because then you got a little bit extra here, which you'd use to tie, like to finish it up after. Otherwise, you just got this little circular boy. Then I'm gonna put it down here just to add an intersection on the plant itself that I feel good about. Like that it'll kind of stay where it is and support it. So kind of lifting this guy, and then all I'm doing, hopefully you can see this, is I'm pulling the one end over. So middle of the rope is at where the plant is, then the one end just goes into the other, and then I kind of slip it a little bit so that it's farther down. But then what I can do is I can use it to winch it up. So you can see, in theory, that it's able to basically continue to tighten. This rope is not very good, so the only thing I have to be careful of is if I give it too much friction, like just rope on rope friction, it'll burn or just cut basically. So once I'm happy with where it is, then all I do to finish it off is a single knot once again, and it kind of just holds that in place so that yeah, now it's pulled up. So if I want to adjust it upwards at all, I can just undo that single knot. It's not a very permanent knot, like it'll work for now because there's no movement or anything like that. So now instead of it being way down here and like with these previous supporting sticks that are useless, now it's pulled all the way up here. And yeah, just a simple loop and then just a knot up here to tidy it up. So that's kind of what I've been doing all around. I got one there, 2 here. This plant is doing great. This I think is a golden beefsteak. Don't know what this one is. I think it's I think it's the yellow bison, so it's also a golden one but not as big. I think this one's a Roma. Oh no, this is the cherry. Apparently this will be the sweetest, which is interesting. They're like cherry ones, but which often have this kind of pattern where it'll flower or produce fruits on both sides if it's the right one, kind of like what it's doing here. But they're kind of getting big without turning it, so I'm curious to see what that'll do. Over here we have these paste tomatoes, which are kind of just starting but also getting a little black on the bottom, so I don't know if it's just too much water or what. Then over on this one, I haven't done anything yet, but it's my experimental one. So this is a Roma that I got from my mom, and it's incredibly resilient and ambitious. So basically anywhere that is almost touching soil or was touching soil, it just creates new roots just part way down. So right here, it was sitting in the soil. So halfway up the fruiting stem, it's like, okay, I'll just put more roots down. And then this here, it's kind of hard to discern where it is, but it's in the ground, fruiting this week. It snapped off last week, so I just stuck it in there, and it's business as usual. I've got peppers in all these, or in a lot of these as well, kind of over on the sides. But the plan for this one is to try and let it grow sideways. Just curious, basically. Obviously, you can go up. I know you can go down, so why not let the fruit come out to the side? Because space isn't really an issue. And then it could be kind of lower to the ground if I want to. And so this was just like a one-off experimental one. Over here, we've got zucchini that are growing twice as big every single day, basically. Some random corn that showed up on its own that I'm letting grow. The beans, green beans, which the slugs absolutely adore. But I put slug out now, slug killing stuff. And then some more tomatoes. These are like a plum tomato of some sort. Surprisingly, oh no, there's yellow ones getting there. I need to train them still. I've got a little brace around it, a brace around that, and then this one here, which has the most successful pepper so far, this beauty. And then this is more jewel beefsteak. So this is like a yellow or yellow-red beefsteak. And it's doing well. It's not like bushy like this Roma is. So I'm probably good with just the one side of the trellis, because I'm going to try like a very flat growth for it. So the opposite of this one, which I'm going to put sideways, this one I want to stick growing on the left-hand side of the bin, up that trellis basically, to see if we can keep giving that pepper plant all the space it wants. So you can see here, here's another pepper plant with the bush tomato, the bush Romas, and it's got some fruit growing. I think it's a spicy one. Another pepper plant here, and I'm really just trying to see, can 2 pepper plants work in a single container, or a pepper and a tomato, sorry. Here's a determinate bush beefsteak of sorts. So I had a slower start, but it's starting to get there. 2 Johnny apple seeds. So this one and this one just planted themselves from leftover tomatoes last year. Yeah, that's all of them. So quite happy with my structure. It works well. Got all the wildflowers, so the bees are all around pollinating nonstop. I've also got our milkweed that showed up on its own, and the water tank. And I've got lots of extra material still so that I can better support everything in my lovely side yard garden.